What's up, Tiger fans? It's Morgan here, back again with another video. This time I wanted to take a look at some of the storylines or questions that are on the Georgia's side of the ball and see what they're doing or thinking about heading into the game against Clemson this Saturday. Before I get into the video, make sure you like this video and you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also don't forget to follow us over on Facebook if you have one and hit the notifications so you can stay up to date on all of our exclusive Clemson content we put out every single week. All right, Tiger fans, I hope you like the orange and purple lights in the background, something I added going into this season. Got it from Amazon, not too bad. Let me know what you think in the comments if you like it. If you're a Georgia fan, you probably don't like it because it's not, black and red, but, I forgive you for it. Again, I wanted to talk about storylines to watch for, not from the Clemson point of view, because, I always watch Clemson videos, read Clemson articles, but leading up into the game on Saturday, I really wanted to take a look at what the opposing team is talking about or has questions for leading into the game. Now, there are a few that we already know as Clemson fans that have been in the headlines, but there are a few that I wanted to discuss as well. And mainly from an article from SI.com, Dawg Daily, Evan Crowell puts out that there are a few things that could turn the tide of the game and specifically big questions for Georgia going into the game against Clemson. So the first one he puts out there, not really surprising for any Clemson fan, which is the status of Darnell Washington and Tyke Smith. Darnell Washington being the elite tight end and Tyke Smith being the transfer defensive back that's also a solid player as well. They both are dealing with foot injuries, and both, according to RotoWire, are having an expected return around the Saturday for the game. So I don't think that what I'm reading is that Tyke Smith will play, even though it seems that he's kind of day-to-day and questionable. If you talk to Kirby Smart, you see some of his post-practice notes. He's not really wanting to give way one way or another if Tyke Smith is going to play, but he has a foot injury that he suffered, first reported by John Pate of 24/7 back on August 18th. And again, he's a guy who's pretty solid, 61 total tackles in 2020, 5 pass defended, and 2 interceptions. So a good solid stat line there from him, considering all things going on in 2020. The other one that I'm kind of more interested to see what happens is Darnell Washington, the elite tight end, who in 2020 had 17 total receptions for 271 yards and 3 touchdowns. But again, at the end of the season, really started to come on with 5 catches for 105 yards on 7 targets. So really someone that was starting to click with JT Daniels as the end of the season went on. And if you watch this channel, how I feel about tight ends that are very athletic. This guy's 6'7", 265 pounds from Las Vegas, Nevada. So a sophomore here. We'll see what Darnell Washington can do. Now, the thing is that originally it was expected that it'd be 4 to 6 weeks, which means that he would not make the game against Clemson. Now, Kirby Smart's coming out and saying that the treatment that he has undergone has had an excellent prognosis and that his status is currently day-to-day, as Seth Emerson of The Athletic reported there. So we know that Kirby Smart's holding this tight to his chest. We don't know if Washington is actually going to play against Clemson, but he will be a key factor if he is there for sure. You got to wonder, even if he does play, how healthy he is. He couldn't be completely 100%. But I'm curious to see what Georgia will do. I think he could be a huge asset for the Tigers, considering how they were kind of exposed from the tight end position, not only way back when they played Alabama, but also against Ohio State more recently as well. So I think it's a big deal. I do think that even without those two players, they still have a solid defense and offense. So we know that they have replacements for those positions. We know that Georgia has no problem recruiting and always reloads. So I don't think that there's going to be, as far as talent and athleticism, a fall off there. But when you lose guys that you think are going to get a lot of playing time, it's definitely not an easy blow for any team, even Georgia. But they do have John Fitzpatrick that is also going to be able to play and who is a very talented tight end as well. So I think that they'll still be able to attack with Clemson with John Fitzpatrick, and that's what I look for, really. My biggest circle person on that field is John Fitzpatrick, maybe second or first, and then this 1A is John Fitzpatrick, and 1B for me would probably be Zamir White. So I would say the tight end, running back, for me, those two guys, big on my radar for a Clemson fan when I'm looking at how are you going to stop this Georgia offense. Tyke Smith, again, not really the biggest one on my radar, but still a key player. It'll be interesting to see what happens on Saturday. Let me know in the comments what you think. Darnell Washington will play or not? Tyke Smith, will he play or not? Another interesting note that I'm reading online is that Darnell Washington last Saturday went on Instagram Live, and when fans were asking him what was his status for Saturday, he said, just wait and see, I've got something for y'all. So, he kind of teased that he may be able to make an appearance against Clemson. And again, it'd be big for Georgia too, but they still have plenty of weapons, so no need to sleep on that. I think the good attitude is the attitude that Brent Venables had today, where he said, hey, we're just pretending. They haven't brought out a depth chart yet, so we're going to go ahead and pretend that everybody's going to be there. All right, so the next question for Georgia was, how does the offensive line handle Clemson's front seven? Which really, when I read that, I'm like, is this not the exact same thing that's being written on the Clemson side of the ball? So obviously, both Clemson and Georgia are having the same issues or same concerns as a fan base of what they're going to do to stop that massive front seven. We know the front seven for Georgia is going to be one of the best in the SEC, maybe even in the nation for sure. And then also we know Clemson on the flip side is going to have one of the best, if not the best, front seven, and one of the best in the nation as well. So massive, elite, powerhouse front sevens on both sides of the ball. How will their offensive lines hold up? Now, on Clemson's side of the ball, you've got a lot of movement. You don't have Jackson Carman anymore. You're having to move your right tackle to left tackle. Some rumors out there that left guard's going to become a center. Now we're seeing the depth chart where he's moving back to left guard. So a lot of questions there. Plug and play guys, what they're going to do, and not as much experience as you want on that offensive line, but still, the good thing for Clemson's side of the ball is that there aren't a ton of true freshmen sitting at the second string spot. Those guys are now sophomores, and so they have one more year under their belt, with exception of Marcus Tate, who is listed, at least as the depth chart, as the backup left tackle. Originally, we were thinking he's going to be the backup left guard. Again, it's hard to say because I think this offensive line situation for Clemson is very fluid. But again, talking about Georgia, they're very worried about Clemson's front seven. They know that they're a legit force. The Bulldogs have, according to Evan Kroll, the Bulldogs have a few key offensive linemen returning, but they will start 2 new players along the line. Taking on this front seven is a big ask for anyone, but it will be even more challenging for the newcomers. Fortunately for the offensive line, Georgia has an experienced offensive coordinator and quarterback. Todd Monken will have to find some way to keep JT Daniels clean while also remaining explosive down the field. So they're, I guess, more essentially worried about keeping JT Daniels away from being sacked, as you know, out of being attacked by the blitz. You know that Brent Venables, I always like to call him Blitz Venables by how much he blitzes all the time, especially on third down. So they know the attack is coming. They know there's going to be man-to-man coverage out there. How long can their offensive line hold up against the elite attack of the Clemson blitz? So we'll see. It's something I can't say one way or another I think is going to happen. We'll just have to let the game be played and see what happens. On the flip side, for Clemson's offensive line, if you look back at last year, I'm less worried about the pickup against the blitz and the pass blocking. I'm really more concerned about, has this team improved in the run blocking? We know we're going to have running back by committee, Dixon, Pace, and Shipley. Are they going to have to be used in open space like Travis Etienne was last year, mainly in the passing game or in the sweep game? Maybe, I know some fans were talking about, we want to see the jet sweep again. Maybe to Will Shipley or someone like that to the outside, Lynn J. Dixon sweeping around the side. Off tackle, a lot of attacks there. It's hard to say. Again, we don't know what this offensive line is going to show up like. It's going to be put up or shut up for Clemson's offensive line when it comes to run blocking. Another question he poses out there is, can the Bulldog pass rush throw DJ Uiagalelei off his game? And that's the thing. Again, I'm not as concerned from a Clemson standpoint, because while I know that Georgia's defense is elite, their front seven, again, is going to be just as hard as what Clemson has faced. Again, I think that Clemson's consistency has been in being decent against the pass rush. I would say really great at sometimes, and then not so great against the pass or the run blocking. So I think this is a pass blocking offensive line. Now there are a few new players in there, but I really feel a little bit better, even though it is probably one of the best defensive lines in the SEC and again in the nation. So again, I don't think that you can count on DJ being inexperienced because he's played in 2 games. He's played in 2 stressful situations against 2 really good defenses in Boston College and Notre Dame, and he's excelled, and he was able to go pound for pound, touchdown for touchdown, and even come back from 18 down from Boston College. So that's my point of view is he's already proven that he can come back from a deficit. He's already proven that he can go score for score, and that's really what you have to do in this era of college football is go score for score. Can Todd Monken's offense really do that? If Clemson gets 2 scores ahead, can Georgia catch back up? If Clemson starts out fast, can Georgia catch up? That's a question for me. I don't think they can. I really, seriously do not. Considering not their talent, not their athleticism, not their star power, considering their offensive coordinator and what we have seen from Todd Monken so far, I'm not really convinced. I watched some replays from the Cincinnati game. Pretty boring. Tight end pass, tight end pass, tight end pass, punt. Pass to the running back, run with the running back, run with the running back, punt. He's typically, at least in that previous game, picking on the same player multiple times in the same drive. Kind of shows a lack of creativity there. We'll see what he can do. We'll see if he switched it up, if he has evolved over this offseason and can be better. But I know that Clemson's defense is going to come after this offensive line, this offensive attack, and stress them out. So when you look back at the teams that have killed Clemson the worst, the LSUs, the Ohio States, and the Alabamas of the world, it has been consistently teams that can stretch you deep and keep their quarterback from being stressed out. Can Georgia stretch you deep down the field and across horizontally, stretch you all over the field? And can they keep JT Daniels up long enough so those big stretch plays open up or push and stretch the defense out around the field? So, like I said, we'll have to see. I'm excited for this game. I don't know one way or another. I'm not 100% sure or not. I know there's a lot of fans that'll get in there and say, hey, Clemson by 50. I'm not one of those fans. But I know that their confidence is there on Clemson's side, and there's also some confidence on Georgia's side as well. So, again, that's why the games are played. It's put up or shut up. Show me Saturday, as they like to say. But the last thing that they posted was, will JT Daniels rise to the occasion? The offseason hype around JT Daniels is warranted. The final 4 games of the 2020 season left most Georgia fans wanting or clamoring for more. So as the 2021 season kicks off, JT Daniels is a Heisman hopeful heading into the year. Will he live up to expectations in week 1? Again, I think you could say the exact same thing for DJ Uiagalelei. I honestly feel like there's more hype around him. You see nationally, he's higher up. He's actually second behind Spencer Rattler for the Heisman race. And if you listen to the radio with Walt Deptula over here on 105.5 The Roar, which is the radio station we're going to be on for our live show starting this Thursday night at 7 p.m., if you listen to him, he says, hey, if DJ wins this game and blows it up and does great, he's already won the Heisman. Now, I don't know. I know the Heisman is going to take a few more games of proof for him to show that. And I know that Clemson's track record has not been good with the Heisman Trophy. But you got to think he is definitely going to put the nation on notice if he comes out and rocks it against Georgia. I really think there's places where he can exploit them, especially with his wide receivers. If they're all back and healthy, that's the one thing that JT Daniels doesn't have. If you look at who got the most yards against Cincinnati, George Pickens. If you look at their number one guy, George Pickens, he's gone. On the flip side, Justin Ross, the guy that torched Alabama in the national championship game for Trevor Lawrence, he's back. Joseph Ngata getting healthy. Frank Ladson getting healthy. E.J. Williams, better, stronger, more experienced. So a lot of things going well in the way of Clemson on the wide receiver core, and we're already hearing rumblings about Will Shipley and how he is Christian McCaffrey reincarnated in the college football realms. We will see. Only time will tell. We have to see this Saturday. And man, I can't wait to see what Clemson and Georgia, what kind of game they produce on Saturday. Hopefully a win for the Tigers. I won't tell you what my prediction is yet. I'm going to think about it a little bit more and try to look at some stats. But again, thank you for watching this video. And if you're interested in more videos, I'll try to bring out more as this game comes up this Saturday. But don't forget, every Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., we're going to be live 105.5 The Roar FM and right here on YouTube as well as Facebook. And we'll catch you later, Tiger fans.